Okay. Hey everyone. This is the third time that I have been forced to re-record this video for YouTube. I've been trying to get, a bunch of friends have asked me to do a Twilight review of the first film, the one that was originally released in 2008. And I've been trying to get this review out, but my computer that I've been recording it with, my webcam, has not really been cooperating with me at all. So this is my third try. And I'm frankly exhausted with this film. It's one thing to watch this movie, which is 2 hours long at least. It's one thing to watch it, but to review it, I mean, I've spent hours, oh my god, hours of my life trying to record this film, trying to get a good review, so that you guys can see it, so we can have at least a good laugh. So here I go again. Hopefully this is the third time. Third time's a charm and all that BS. So, Twilight the movie. I know it's bad. You guys know it's bad. Let's just jump right into this review. The movie sort of starts with a whimper. It's not a really interesting starting. It opens with Bella saying some bullshit about I knew that I was gonna die, but whenever I wanted to die, I want to die in the arms of someone I love. Something that is not really relevant at all to this film. It doesn't really have anything to do, I don't think, with Twilight. But apparently it's important enough that she repeats it several times during the film. So anyways, you're introduced to her character, Kristen Stewart's character, Bella Swan, through some really, really boring exposition. She's apparently leaving her mom and her stepdad's house in Arizona, and she's moving to Forks. And she's going to go live with her dad. Sorry about that. She's going to go live with her dad. You're never really given any indication why she's just changing schools or why this is happening right now. It's just something that she does. I think it's interesting, at least in my experiences with high school. I've never really, I don't really understand how you can just sort of leave in the middle of the year. We're supposed to assume, I guess through context, you sort of assume that this is the start of the spring semester, I guess. Or maybe it's sort of in the middle of spring, but she just sort of up and leaves. In my experiences with public schools are a little limited, admittedly. So if anyone out there knows that you can just sort of switch, please let me know, because I'm not really sure that you can just switch schools. But whatever. So she changes schools, and blah blah blah. Lots of boring scenes. She has some sort of fixation with a cactus that I don't really understand. So she has her cactus, and she moves into her dad's home, which, she used to visit for a couple of weeks during summer, blah, blah, blah. And pointless information, just exposition. To sort of give you a background on who we're dealing with. I suppose that's why the screenwriter, who needs to be shot most likely, not literally, but the screenwriting certainly doesn't do this film any favors, doesn't do any of the actors anything. The screenwriting is what makes this movie so bad. The source material really sucks too, but the screenwriting could have been a lot better. So her father introduces her to Jacob Black and sort of like the local tribe leader, the Quiulets, the Quiulet. I can't really remember how they pronounce their names in the film. But she's introduced to sort of the blacks, and Jacob Black steals every scene that he's in. Taylor Lautner is really horrible in this movie, but it's like he knows it's bad. That's what's kind of funny. At least with Jacob Black and with Edward Cullen, the actors that play them, Taylor Lautner and Robert Pattinson respectively, at least the actors, especially Robert Pattinson, they both seem to know that the script is terrible, and they sort of have fun with it. I know Robert Pattinson, if you've ever seen any of his reviews, outside of these movies, talking about them, the context of the film, his character, stuff like that. They're really, really funny to watch and to read, because he's not exactly respectful of the source material. And he talks about, I think I read one interview where he was really reluctant to sort of take on the part of Edward Cullen, because he knew that it would make him sort of typecast as this person, and that he would never really be able to escape the role. So whatever. So Jacob Black is introduced, and again, he steals every scene he's in, because he has this ridiculous wig, and his teeth are so white they're distracting. Real people, that probably doesn't do it justice. I have normal teeth, normal white teeth, I guess. I don't have like Hollywood white or celebrity white teeth, and it's kind of distracting. He smiles, and the sunlight just beams off of it straight into your eyeballs. But and so yeah, they get introduced, and he's not the blacks aren't really important to this story at all. They're only featured in because they're so integral to the story in later installments, definitely for better or for worse. But they don't really have a place in this story, so we quickly sort of forget about them. I think Jacob Black comes in for another 2 or 3 scenes, like in the middle. Obviously, this is the beginning. He has like a scene in the middle, the beach scene, and then he comes back at the end for maybe it's before prom or something. I can't remember. But I want to say maybe that's another movie. Yeah, that's that's probably another movie. I don't know. But he's not really important in this story. So anyways, we move on, and Bella goes to school for the first time. And you get really the impression that Forks must be this teeny tiny school. I think Bella even makes it a point. It's kind of annoying. She even makes it a point to narrate to the audience how many people are exactly in Forks. And, I think it would be interesting. I'll have to look it up later if that number actually is an accurate representation of the population of Forks, or if they just, pull that number out of their ass. But Bella stresses that this is a small town, and you get the impression that that's the case here. She goes to school and parks her really shitty red truck, next to popular kids, and she doesn't bother to go introduce herself. It's really strange. Whenever I was the new kid, or whenever anyone's the new kid, you don't really. I'm not gonna say that you should go introduce yourself. I'm just saying that's what I would do. It's friendly, it's sociable. Go introduce yourself to some people. Be like, hey, my name is such and such. I'm new here. Can you, tell me where my classes are? Can you tell me where the main office is? Blah, 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 blah. Are my teachers good? Stuff like that. Just generally friendly conversation. She doesn't really do that. She just walks on awkwardly. I think she awkwardly looks over at, like, the group that's destined to become her friends, and just walks past them. So she goes into the school building, and the stereotypical... I don't want to say stereotypical, because I guess that would make me stereotypical. But the Asian kid from the newspaper sort of latches himself onto her and starts talking. And this certainly isn't the first time that I should have chosen to bitch about the dialogue in this film, but the screenwriter really doesn't have a grasp of how teenagers interact with each other. This is like... This would be like if an adult wrote the screenplay and an adult did. But if an adult wrote a screenplay that was sort of cliche and stereotypical of how teenagers interact with each other, that Twilight is a good representation of this. There isn't really any accurate dialogue between the two. It's like they try to be like all hipster and all, we're in the 21st century, we're all modern, and they try to use like slang and stuff. And it's not really successful at all. It fails as a device to sort of make this film relevant for today's audience. Whatever, I know I'm nitpicking. So they're talking, and Bella, again, awkward in social situations. You get really tired of this throughout the movie, that Bella is just socially inept in conversation and in situations. In this particular instance, she's talking with this Asian kid. I think his name's Eric. All of the other times that I've reviewed this film, I didn't know what his name was. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are lucky. I actually know who this guy is. But I think his name's Eric, and he's talking about, he tries to befriend her, I guess. He's hitting on her, I guess. I don't really know what's going on in this scene. But she's talking with him, and she gets all worried because she realizes he's like the editor of the newspaper, and she thinks he's going to write like a paper or like a feature on her. And, he steps back from her and gets this serious look on his face. No, chillax, no feach. It's literally, you roll your eyes, shake your head, and move on. That's all you really need to do with this Twilight movie. Again, you guys know it's bad, I know it's bad. The dialogue is fucking terrible. If there was ever a movie that deserved a rant, Twilight's it. And the dialogue is really, really horrible. So whatever. She goes on with her bullshit routine at school. And again, I was talking about how this isn't an accurate representation of really anything. She instantly becomes best friends with like the popular kids. She's the new girl, the new shiny toy, I guess. I think someone even says that, one of her little girlfriends. Even says that in the film. But she has, this incredible ability that she just becomes friends with the popular kids. Thank God. Thank God. It would have been really awkward if Bella actually developed a real relationship with someone in this film. It would have been really, really terrible if Stephenie Meyer had to have written an accurate friendship, like a build-up to something. You get the impression that Meyer didn't write accurate characters, that you get the impression, I'm sure the movie left out BS details, but it's like Meyer wants you to just sort of get over the fact that they're friends. There's no build up, there's no steps. They don't really socialize. It's just 1 second she's the new girl, and the next couple of scenes she's best friends with these kids, and you're just supposed to accept it. I've been to high school. We were kind of cutthroat with our new kids. We put the new kids through pretty rigorous BS social activities. If we didn't like anyone, you're screwed. And here, Bella certainly is not likable at all, yet, thank God, she's able to make friends quickly. And let me talk about that. Bella being likable, or her being unlikable, rather. I don't understand how she made friends so quickly. I don't understand how Bella as a character is popular at all, or why women think that they can relate with her. I don't really understand how anyone can relate with this bitch. She's not likable. She's not friendly. She's not attractive at all. And she certainly isn't intelligent. Besides one isolated case of Bella's intelligence, you never really get the impression that she's good at anything. She reads a lot. I guess she listens to music. Everyone does that, more or less. Reading and listening to music are not unique abilities to have in this world. She doesn't have a personality. There's nothing there. I don't understand why anyone is fixated with her. I guess because she's new. But even then, you sort of get over the fact that someone's new in your life. You get over the new kid. Eventually, you just accept new kid is one of us now, or something, or maybe you don't. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I can understand if they liked her because she was new, like the boys in this film, because apparently she gets asked out a couple times, and apparently they must think she's incredibly attractive or something, and I just don't see it. Kristen Stewart in this film is really, really fugly. She's not really attractive in any of these movies. No one is really attractive in any of these movies. So I don't really understand why she is sort of being perceived as this heroine that women should latch on to. It's really dangerous. And I'll talk about the Bella and Edward relationship later. But, sorry.